Hello, people of YouTube. This is Gray's Guitars. My name is Steve Gray. Thank you for watching. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, leave a like, and feel free to comment down below what you would like me to do for future music and guitar-related videos. So today we are talking about Chibsons. Basically, it's just a fake Gibson guitar. I saw a similar kind of video. I thought it would be an interesting topic to jump on, so I kind of thought I'd put my spiel on it. So I put the question out on our guitars here for the subreddit for guitar, and basically my question is what are your thoughts on Chibson guitars? I'm talking about both Chinese and high quality ones like the one that Slash uses. Are they really that bad if you label them a fake or a replica, and don't try to pass them off as the real deal? So for starters, let's just talk about general copyright and what that means. So the Gibson name obviously is copyrighted, and so is the headstock, the open book headstock more specifically. Because we see people copy the Explorer headstock, the Flying V headstock. There's a couple other, the Firebird headstock, I've seen that copied a little bit as well. I don't know if they're trademarked as not, but I'm specifically talking about the open book headstock that Gibson has. So that shape is trademarked, basically meaning nobody else can use it unless Gibson allows people to use it. Same with the Gibson logo, the Les Paul logo. All of that is trademarked. You can't put that on another guitar and try to sell it. You can't try to sell it as a replica. Can't try to sell it as the real deal or a fake. You just can't do it. Unless Gibson gave you approval to do it, you are not allowed to do that. So basically that means even if the retailer is saying this is a copy or a replica of a real Gibson Les Paul or whatever other model you want to talk about, it is illegal. You cannot legally sell it. That is the problem that arises when you see especially notable retailers who should be fully aware of the copyright laws selling some of these guitars that have been like relabeled. Like somebody would, I've seen people slap a Gibson logo on like a Harley Benton, one of their double cuts. Some older 70 guitars, people will slap the logo on it to make people think it's a Gibson, even though it's not. And it's illegal to sell it basically with that logo on it. If you want to sell it, what you have to do is pretty much just rip out the logo off or cover it in some way, shape, or form, paint over it, and sell it as an unbranded guitar. Which, I mean, the websites I've seen, they still says Gibson on the headstock, but it is technically, they label it as unbranded, but you still can't do that. That is still technically illegal. If Gibson felt the need to make a lawsuit or sue them for that, they definitely could 100% do that if they wanted to. They're not going to do that, most likely. They're more after the factories, specifically the Chinese factories and the people that are actually building the instruments. There's a lot of them in the market, unfortunately. People do unfortunately get duped. I had a friend of mine who actually bought a Slash Appetite for Destruction guitar, and it was a Chibson. He paid like $500 or $600 for it, and I mean it's not a bad guitar. It plays well, but it is either an Epiphone that got converted to the Gibson headstock, or it is just a fresh off the boat Chinese. Actually, I think it was a Korea. Honestly, I think he said he got it from Korea or something. So it might have been a different Korea copy. But basically, you can't do that. You can't, whether it's a high-end replica or made from Chinese, they're all Chibsons. I consider them all Chibsons. That is the leading argument in my thread right now is they're saying that Slash's original Appetite for Destruction guitar isn't a Chibson because, it's a high-end replica, it's made in California. It's a cheap knockoff Gibson. To me, it's all a Chibson. I'm probably going to get eaten apart in the comments for that again, like I did with my original post, but whatever, I'm sticking to my guns, and I don't care what you think. It is a Chibson. It is a Chibson. It is a fake Gibson. That's it. That's all you need to know. A fake Gibson is called a Chibson. I looked it up several times. Some are saying, oh no, it's specifically made in China. It doesn't matter. It's all fake. Whether it comes off the boat from China, comes off the boat from Korea, comes from a reputable builder in the UK, Europe, whatever, America, USA, Chibson. That's my personal opinion on the subject. So let's talk about Slash's guitar for those of you that don't know the info about that particular piece. So he got it built from a reputable luthier And basically, it is a very high quality Chibson. So it basically is like having a 1959 Les Paul with all the original parts, same type of wood, hide glue, all of that put together nice and well, without the price. So these copies, these are actually very highly sought after copies of a 59 Les Paul, because mainly because Slash played them as a reason that why they got so high in popularity and high in price. They're typically going for around $12,000 right now, when in reality they probably didn't cost anywhere near that much when they were initially purchased. Which, you know, kind of leads to that problem as well. I think it was called like a Max Les Paul, I think is what they call them. Feel free to look them up if you feel the need to, but that's what they are called. So basically, I was just like, what are your... anyway, getting out to the main question, what I was asking, I wanted to know what people's thoughts were. A lot of people were saying no, there's a lot better quality control when you go somewhere like Epiphone, you buy a Harley Benton. Sometimes Harley Bentons have had a really bad quality control from what I've seen. It's like a hit or miss with Harley Benton, depending on the price range you're looking at. With them, it seems like they definitely have been getting better. But, you know, Ibanez makes some single cuts. I mean, pretty much every company makes some sort of single cut. ESP, LTD, they're notable for having a very good single cut guitar, the EC1000 series. But you're better off buying one of those instead, because it's going to look similar to your average Joe. They're not going to know the difference. The only person that you're going to impress with having a Gibson that's fake and looks like a Gibson on stage is a guitar person. But if they know what they're doing, like myself, I can spot one fairly quickly. I mean, the easiest way to spot them, obviously, is to take off the truss rod cover, see if it is that hex wrench socket that you use, and that is always going to be a Chibson right off the bat. But those are just kind of my general thoughts on it. If it's kind of weird, because I'm kind of under the impression that if you own one, whatever, you're fine. If you want to sell it, you know, you can't legally sell it, but it's not illegal to own. That's kind of where it's at with these guitars. So if you're not trying to, but I'm kind of under the impression if you're not trying to sell it for like an actual Gibson price and tell people what it actually is, I personally don't care too much. I understand it floods the market with fakes, it's a problem, but you know, you just got to do your research. It does suck, but that's the problem. You can't trust everybody online. That's why I am very nervous if I ever buy like a higher end guitar online. I mean, you buy something like an Epiphone or a Squier or something, you know, mid-range, cheaper. You're not really going to have that problem too much unless it's like a fancy signature model. Then there's a possibility of it being a fake. But the higher made USA guitars, they're out there. So you just got to you got to watch out. It sucks, but that's just the way it is. So that's kind of all she wrote with this. That was kind of my thoughts on the Chibson guitars. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Feel free to do what you got to do down there, and let me know what you also want me to do for future music and guitar related videos. My name is Steve Gray. This is Gray's Guitars, and as always, have a good one.